Okay, good morning, everybody. I have Maggie and Sophie with me. Sophie runs her own fitness called Fuller Nutrition, and she's also a nutrition, lifestyle, and emotional coach as well. And so she's here today to tell us a little bit more about herself and also a little bit about the business and what she's doing. So Sophie, welcome and thank you for coming to our show, Elite Vibrations.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. So I shall shoot away with the first question. And that was about giving us a brief overview of your journey of struggles or emotional pain and struggles that led you to be the person you are today.
Okay, so yes, you can't really do this work without doing the work on yourself. So I have spent most of my life, I'd say probably from my teens, most consciously, trying to understand why people behave the way they do and why I feel the way I do when I feel bad. And so I've really done this kind of personal journey of seeking outside help, very spiritual. I've always loved places like Glastonbury and, where I can really get in touch with my authentic self. And so, yeah, I've done that exploration, and I didn't have an easy childhood, as most of us probably haven't. There were good bits and not so good bits. I had a highly critical mother. And I had a father who was absent most of the time, doing his business, much as he was loving. And my mother had this secret eating disorder, which made me feel like it wasn't okay to have sugar in your diet. And that meant that I carried over this shame around food. And the strange thing was that I went into nutrition and becoming a nutritional therapist. So I carried this really difficult scenario of, I don't feel okay. I have this craving for sugar every single day. I'm battling this, and yet I'm trying to help clients, eat better. So I carried this with me for a very long time. And it's only been quite recently that I've really got on top of it.
Fantastic. Well, it's just amazing there to show your authenticity in opening up and owning who you are and your journey. So that's amazingly very special. Thank you for that. And then the next question is really through your self-development journey of having realized about the fact that you may have some linkages to the eating disorder, or like your mom, did you feel at any time that you had any difficulties that you felt, okay, I can't do that and I will remain in my comfort zone? So what was the grounding force that kept you on the path of self-realization?
So there's always been a very kind of grounded side to me anyway. I don't know if it's because I'm a Taurus and we're notoriously practical and earthy and grounded in astrology anyway. So I've always had this very sensible side of me, this side of me that kind of understands that there's more to it when things are not going well. And so although I did indulge in this self-sabotage quite regularly, there was always this other side of me that was saying, there is a better way, Sophie, there is a better way. And so I would indulge in that. I committed from a young age to want to be of service to others and to be a therapist. And that's what I did. And I worked very, very hard and continue to work very hard to embrace that and learn as much as I can and be as kind to myself as I can, and start to uncover or continue to uncover my past. Really important to understand where you've come from, what experiences you've had that make you who you are today, and to uncover those parts of me that don't really align well with my true self. And that is a continuing journey, and it'll be a journey until the day I die. And particularly in this area of where I sabotage, where other people might sabotage, is they might develop addictions with, you know, gambling, or changing relationship every 5 minutes, or sabotaging their careers, or, you know, or eating the wrong things like me. So we all have our things, the way it shows up. Maybe it's drinking too much alcohol, you know, maybe it's smoking, maybe it's playing poor me the whole time and constantly feeling the victim. You know, whatever it is, there's something that's stopping us from reaching our true self, and reaching, you know, fulfillment and enjoyment of life. And I've decided life is too short to let myself be held back by those things. And so I take care every single day to pay attention to how I'm feeling and to address my inner needs, to take care of me. I no longer look outside of myself to get my needs met. I always look inside. And then if someone else gives me, you know, a hug, or gives me a lovely compliment, or takes me out for dinner, wonderful, that's absolutely wonderful. Right. But I really take ownership of my needs and my self-care.
Fantastic. Because as Peter Sage says, that if you need to love yourself more, you cannot find love from out there. You need to be whole and be 100% in love with yourself, because by going out there seeking for other people to give you love or validation of who you are and things like that, that is the most breaking down thing that actually is not good. And what's the word I'm trying to look for now? Destructive mode, isn't it? So yeah. Amazing. So with that, I was just going to bring in there, because you have some children as well. So how has your journey affected them? Do you think they are affected, or you were able to not have them, how can I say, influenced by your personal struggles with this disorder?
Yeah, so that, I don't believe they have a problem with that, with the sugar thing, because even though I didn't fully sort it out while they were young, I was very aware of it. And I was not going to do this thing of eating, going into the cupboards at midnight and stuffing myself with sugar. I was going to do it out in the open, and I was going to be honest and upfront with my kids and say, kids, I love sweet things. They're not very good for you in high quantities. I'm going to let you have some of it some of the time. I am going to give in to you. You know, we're going to create balance here. So that is not something that they've carried on. You know, they have sugar when they want to. They know when they're overdoing it and it's not good for them. That has not been the issue. But they have their own challenges, because nobody comes out of childhood unscathed. I was in a difficult marriage, and a marriage that was unhealthy. And it's only because if the kids ever watch this, I don't want them to feel that I'm dissing the marriage too much. But I'm going to have to be honest and say it was an abusive marriage. It was, you know, it was an unhealthy, controlling marriage. And therefore that will have affected them. I've tried to be very honest with them as teenagers about what happened, without putting their father down or anything, or putting me down in the process. But I have been honest with them and said, it was hard. These are the challenges we had. I'm really sorry if it's affected you. I'll do everything I can to support you. And if you feel you want to talk to me, please do. But it wasn't easy. So they will have their own challenges. Nobody comes out unscathed, but not in that particular area, thank goodness.
Fantastic. And so that just shows you the authentic you, because by being authentic and being open, you've helped your kids to develop that inner balance, that inner resilience, that inner strength, that even though they may have had some problems with the issue of mom and dad no longer being together or whatever, because kids always see these things, even if you're not, you don't think they're seeing it. they may have seen all that struggles that you went through. So it's amazing that you didn't hide it, you let them aware of it. And that is just amazing. So that's brilliant. So I'll say you are the greatest mom I've seen or heard so far. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And on the next question, it says, please tell us how you managed to raise 4 kids, which I think you've already said this one really. 4 kids and a younger daughter, and also run a successful business. And the next one is, did you start the business when your children were young, and how did the juggle and the demands of motherhood, marriage and business run? So how did you manage to do that successfully?
Yeah. So it's kind of twofold, that question. It's how you run a business with those children, but also how you navigate your way through it emotionally, etc. So I have 4 children altogether, 3 boys and a daughter, and I started my business before I had children, before I got married. My heart was set on being of service to others, and in nutritional health. That's what I was interested in. And I had obviously a lot of support. The marriage wasn't all bad. My husband was there to help. He was doing the breadwinning. I was making some of the bread. But I wanted to be the best mother I could be. It really was important to me, especially after my experience, that if I didn't put that energy in when they were young and really take care of them, and for me that meant being around a lot, then I would, that was most important to me. So I ran my business on the side. It was very much part-time. I only went full-time when the children were older. And actually when the marriage fell apart, then I went right full in and said, right, I'm ready to do this. The kids are older. I can really do this full time now. And so that's how I did it. And again, how I navigated it, the struggles of trying to balance taking care of the kids, navigating a difficult situation, which wasn't difficult all the time. It wasn't a horrendous marriage, or I wouldn't have stayed in it. But there were aspects to it that were extremely damaging, and I had to navigate those. But I learned so much from it. I realized, how I'd come out of childhood so unsure of myself, so low in my self-worth, that I would attract that kind of experience and that kind of treatment of me, that kind of aggression and vitriol and criticism, and I needed to do some work on myself to recognize that I am worthy, and I'm worthy of having a loving, healthy, non-codependent relationship, non-dysfunctional relationship, not just with your one and only, but also with other people in your life, other loved ones, etc. So it was a massive journey, and I don't think we should ever regret negative situations in our lives, because they teach us so much. And if we can acknowledge in that moment how awful it is and how difficult it is, and what we've been through, but at the same token, know that it is teaching us so much. And, we just need to get through it and know that we can get through it. And the way I got through it was the work that I did on myself, and this absolutely unstoppable or immovable part of me, which is that my body is my temple. Even though I'd put sugar in it, of course I would, but I really cared about myself. And that I have to thank my parents for. I have to thank my father, who introduced us to natural health from a very young age, and really instilled in us this self-care. And my mother, they both instilled in us this self-care of taking care of yourself and being responsible for your health. And I thank them for that. I really do, because it stuck with me to this day, through thick and thin. It doesn't matter what people are trying to throw at me. My understanding of my body and my health, through training, through knowledge, through discipline, etc., it is immovable. It's my belief in the body's ability to heal itself, given the right tools, is immovable. Nobody can convince me that you need to shove things in your body to make yourself well. Not even supplements. I mean, some supplements are helpful, but they just cannot convince me. The wisdom that our body's ability to heal is, it's you cannot change that. It is what it is. So, you know, hopefully I impart that to my clients, because it is something that is so important to me. And as you can hear, I'm very passionate about it.
No, I absolutely quite agree with that. Natural healing, because when I grew up in Zimbabwe, my grandmother, she was very much into this natural homeopathic healing. So when I got sick, I would be arguing with her, why can't I go to the doctor? And she wouldn't listen. She would just pick up some herbs, force them down my throat, and I never liked drinking it. Some of it she'll be washing me with it, and I never liked it. But now as I'm older, I can understand where you're coming from, Sophie. Natural healing, you know, plants and everything like that, which is why I wrote the book, Nature Heals. It does heal you, and it helps your body naturally to heal you. So what gurus did you have that helped you to become stronger? I mean, can you throw out some names of what gurus you self-helped, whether it was through taking their courses or you went to therapy with them and then carried on with their work?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've always had people that I follow. I would say the most instrumental is Barbara Wren, who is a naturopathic nutritionist. I mean, her philosophy of how the body heals, how the body never works against you. It's a combination of naturopathy, which is basically nutrition, with traditional Chinese medicine, some astrology in there. It's a whole mixture of different things. She is the one that has given me this unwavering belief in my body's ability to heal. So I will always be thankful to her. What I did develop on from my experience with Barbara was the emotional work, the recognition that actually your dis-ease is the sum total of blocked emotion. That's the traditional Chinese medicine understanding, actually. And Barbara didn't push on the emotional stuff as much as I have developed that, because I've recognized that most people know what they need to eat and what they need to do, but they're not doing it because they have these emotional blocks. So a lot of my work is about getting underneath those sabotages. You know, for example, I'm not good enough, but those feelings, those thoughts that we have that then create those feelings that then create those behaviors. That is most of my work, is getting underneath all of those limiting beliefs, getting you to a point where you actually like yourself, you accept yourself, you're okay with your negative parts, and you're able to quieten that voice that tells you you're not good enough, that tells you you're too fat, that tells you you're too weak, that tells you you're useless. You get to quieten that voice, and you get to engage that inner wise voice that connects you with source, that says, I love you, I care about you, I'm your best inner champion, you know, I'm your best champion, I've got your back, and I'm taking care of you. And that doesn't come from outside. That doesn't come from people giving you accolades. Wonderful if they do. That comes from you being so beautifully aligned to your source, to whatever made you, connected to your inner self, that your self-belief is so strong. And from that place, you can do anything. You can change any bad habit. You can change anything. Maybe not all the time. Maybe you're going to fall down sometimes because something happens. That's okay too. You've got to be gentle on yourself. Sometimes it is right to go to the doctor and get medication. Sometimes it is fine to have 2 bottles of wine. It's being okay with where you're at each moment, and most of the time doing the right thing, most of the time eating the right foods and engaging in the right habits. But if you're in there beating yourself up, you've got no hope. So the first thing is you have to become a friend to yourself, and we have to do all that work. We have to get underneath it. You know, that's what the therapy is. That's the work I do, get underneath it. And then when I say to them, you know, would you like to, let's see if we can tweak your diet, let's see why you're drinking the alcohol, what's that about, let's get underneath it, then they're much more willing to cut back on the things that are unhealthy, and then mostly focus on the things they feel good about. Okay, so the alcohol relaxes you. Well, what else relaxes you? Is it a walk in the park? Is it a hug with your loved one? Is it watching a comedy? You know, what else could you do? Doesn't mean you cut out the alcohol straight away. You know, it's a journey. You're just starting to become curious without judgment. Oh, why am I doing that? Why am I smoking? What's it giving me? There's something positive it's giving you. The problem is if you carry on doing it to excess, you could affect your health badly. So you want to see, well, what else could I be doing? What do I not have enough of in my life? And that's the work we do, which creates this wonderful foundation for you to then create change. And then you have to be consistent. You know, it's like applying yourself each and every day, like I do, every single day. And I'm probably answering some of these other questions, actually, Norma, because you said, what are you doing to keep yourself on the positive path? So you asked me some questions, Norma, because I'm going off.
No, I think you were actually on that amazing journey. And I wanted to just throw in a little bit there. That basically, do you have a morning routine or daily routine that you do to keep that momentum going? So like some people say they meditate and do a 5K run in the morning and all that stuff and drink spirulina or whatever. So what is your morning routine? Because like you said with your clients, you help them to realize their bad habits and everything else. But do you then work with them to develop a morning routine or a daily routine?
Absolutely. So the first thing I would say is that even when you get underneath your limiting beliefs, your childhood pain, your suffering, you're never actually free of it. You have to actually learn to accept what's happened to you and then move forward from that. But you may still have that tendency. I will always love sugar and chocolate, but it goes down depending on how I'm taking care of myself. But my propensity is not to drink copious amounts of wine. My propensity, if I'm out of kilter, is chocolate and sugar. And that means that somebody always potentially has that propensity, which means each and every day you must take care of yourself. And it doesn't require huge effort. It just requires a commitment to your self-care, a commitment to your goal that you want to be the best you can be, or you want to have excellent health, or you want to, you know, live on the other side of the world, you know, eating sweet potatoes, whatever it is. So what do I do every day and how do I help my clients? So with my clients, we get right into the nitty gritty. What are they doing each and every day? What are they doing to sabotage themselves and what can they do differently? And after every session, I give them an email which has detailed actions of what they can do. And they might do them that week, they might not, it doesn't matter. Then we look at it. But yes, we look very, very closely at their habits and their behaviors and their routines, because we are habit creatures and we can either follow the bad habits or we can follow the good habits. And so, yeah, we need to look at that. So what do I do? Each and every day, I have a diary or a calendar and I note down what I'm eating and I note down what I'm doing. And what it does is it helps me keep on track. If I'm not having a good day where I don't feel I'm reaching my goals, by looking at the list of things I've already achieved, I will realize I've done a meditation, a workout, I've helped my children out, I've cleaned the house, you know, and you realize, well, okay, I haven't achieved that particular goal that I wanted to achieve yet, but I've done all these other things. So you're not beating yourself up. You're continually your own best advocate, your own best support. You're always pushing, you know, not pushing yourself, but you're always in that place of self-care and self-love, actually, is the most important thing. So, yeah, so I have my routine of my meditation every morning. I try to do fitness, but it's not every day. I try to swim a few times a week. But what I do is, rather than a daily plan, I create a weekly plan, which allows for flexibility. If I didn't get in the sea that day, I can get in the sea another day. And I work out, you know, what do I want to be eating this week? Where do I want to factor in my favorite food, like my dessert or my glass of wine or my few glasses of wine? You know, when am I going out? So that there's balance, so that you can really enjoy life, have your favorite foods, but you're not, on this restrictive, I can never have fun, I can never eat this, I can never eat that. And that really, so for me, the weekly plan, if you can have a morning routine, fantastic, or a daily routine with a bit of a flexibility. And the 80-20 ratio is my favorite. So that means I put in my favorite foods 20% of the time in the week. And by keeping a note of it, I can see if I'm starting to eat a bit too much sweet stuff again, then I'll recognize and I'll start journaling. What's this about? Asking myself, inquiry, what's going on? Where am I feeling lack in my life? What do I need, etc., etc.
Wow. That is amazing. So thank you for that. And so where are we? So so I think you've answered question 4, where it was what inspired you to start your business, and you've explained it was your life journey with your upbringing. So that's great. Question 5. You have also, so you have a fuller nutrition, and you're also a nutritional therapist and life coach. So is that one and the same?
Yes. So that's what I was explaining before about how we unearth the emotional stuff. So my approach is 3-pronged. It looks at the emotional, it looks at the mental, and it looks at the physical, because the emotional is about unearthing those limiting beliefs, your past traumas, the things that cause you to behave unconsciously, typically, in a conditioned way, in a learned way, reacting to certain situations that does not help you long term. And then we look at the mental in terms of rewiring your brain. So basically, we've got learned behaviors, we've got reactions to thoughts and things. We now have to change that. We have to become aware of our thoughts and start to rewire our thought processes and our brain. And that takes time. So I always ask my clients, give yourself more time. If you want to lose weight, please don't give yourself 6 weeks. Why not 18 months? And then we allow for a little bit of, not going to lose weight sometimes, but adopting these really healthy habits. So rewiring your brain is about small daily steps. It's not about big overhauls. It's about small daily consistent steps. And then the physical, which is the nutritional, how to change your diet, introduce intermittent fasting, drink more water, do some naturopathic techniques like skin brushing, whatever it is, maybe add some supplements. And that's where we tweak and really optimize your physical health. So that's my 3-pronged approach. So yes, that's in answer to your question. Yes, that's all one and the same.
That's amazing. So what's skin brushing? Or you said something like skin brushing. Is it like taking a brush and brushing your
so it looks, it's not a loofah, but it's an actual skin brush, which is oval shaped with natural bristles. And you brush upwards on dry skin from the feet all the way up to the heart, and then down to the heart. And what you're doing is you're stimulating the lymphatic system to clear its toxins. It's a very natural way. You don't do it every day or the body gets used to it. So about twice a week before you have a shower, it stimulates and sort of sloughs off the dead skin cells, stimulates the circulation, stimulates movement. So really good.
Wow, amazing.
I know, lots of fun things on my list of things.
That's awesome. So the key part today is about flexibility, and also if, for example, if you are on a weight loss diet or whatever, to give yourself time, 18 months, not just a week or whatever. So that's important, isn't it? And that way you can have realistic goals and realistic outcomes.
Realistic goals, realistic outcomes, and especially with weight loss, you don't want to do a quick fix diet. You want to adopt lifestyle changes for life, long-term things that bring you health. Because what is weight? Weight is just a buffer between you and the world. It's the result of unhealthy habits, possibly comfort eating or eating the wrong things at the wrong time, not feeling good about yourself. But it's a way to kind of give yourself protection from the world around you. So that's not easy to just shift that, you've got to get underneath, you know, what's caused that, and start to be more self-loving and self-kind and accept yourself as you are, and then create a lovely plan over a nice long period so that you make changes for life. So it's not just about rapid weight loss, it's about understanding why the weight is there in the first place and what you can do about it.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. So that was that one. And so I guess you've already given a lot of advice, but is there any other advice that you would want to give to our viewers that may want to transform their lives from a life of suffering filled with fear, pain, but are afraid or lack the courage to take the next crucial step in their life to change their circumstances?
I mean, the one thing I would do is to take stock of your situation and say to yourself, I need help. And to make a decision to not feel alone anymore, to know that there is help out there, that you do not have to do this alone. We're so taught in society that it's all our fault, that the reason we've got the weight gain or the reason we've got the depression is because there's something wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you've had some negative experiences. You've probably carried over some family history stuff, some ancestral toxicity, or whatever you want to call it, both emotional and physical. You know, life is not easy. You're carrying a lot of stuff. So it's taking stock and saying, you know, I need to take care of myself. I can't do it alone. I need help, and ask for help, whatever way you can, whether it's engaging with a therapist one-to-one, if you can. You know, sometimes people can't afford to do that. If you can't afford to do that, start following all the incredible mentors and coaches online. I mean, my website, if you can't afford to see me one-to-one, is packed with information on my blogs, my videos, my Facebook Lives, my Instagram. You can get so much information just by signing up to my mailing list. You will get a free mini sleep series, which, even if you don't have trouble sleeping, helps you to understand your body better anyway for all of your life. So that's what I would start with, is make a commitment, say to yourself, I'm not alone, and there is help out there. I just need to be tuned in and welcome and open to receiving it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the reminder. That's where you start. And then from there, you know, let it unfold. Let it come to you, because once you get in alignment and say, I want help, I need help, this is really upsetting me, the answers will come. The people will come through your door, or they'll come online to you. The answers will come. You just have to be open to it. That's where I'd start, and then let it come.
Fantastic. That's awesome. So basically the last one you've told us already, which was about how you are maintaining and keeping yourself. You've said already about your plan. So that's amazing. So at the moment, do you have any, what do you call it, promotions that people can hook on if they're very much interested in following what you've said today?
I don't have any promotions specifically. It's best to have a look at my website, see all the available material, look at the packages. I've created, you know, a number of different packages, whether you're going through the menopause, whether you're desperate to lose weight. Men's health is a really important one. And those, have a look at those, because they've been so carefully kind of formulated to really support you. You know, you get 24-hour contact with me, you know, you get the follow-up emails, you get regular sessions. You know, it's really a launch pad for you to take you into the future. But like I say, if money is an object, if you're not in a position to be able to afford it, sign up to my mailing list so you get that regular input and insight. Start doing the research, start reading up, start following the right people, watch my videos, you know, and do that. And I would be delighted to help.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sophie. So the links to Sophie's website will also be put on and under this video, and also the links to her Facebook page, an Instagram, you said, isn't it? An
Yeah.
Instagram. So you can always, if this, whatever was discussed in this video touches you in a special way and you want to contact Sophie and have a more detailed conversation with her, then click on her website links down below and you'll be able to get some more information or in-depth help with whatever you are going through. So I think that's enough on my question side. I don't know if Maggie wanted to ask anything.
Sophie, that has been absolutely fascinating listening to you today. It's been really awesome, and I have resonated in so many levels, you know, with the eating disorder, the marriage, the affecting children, and you know, the challenges that all brought to you, and some challenges I'm still facing today. But yeah, it was incredible listening to you. I shall certainly be looking at your website to see, you know, where you can possibly help me as well. So I would just like to thank you very, very much for coming today and doing this little podcast with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Sophie, for your time, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.